Hey everyone, thanks for joining me on another demo video for DBeaver. I'm Zach Antunes and I'm a solutions architect here at DBeaver, and today we're going to be looking at CloudBeaver Enterprise Edition. Again, I'm doing these videos in a progressive fashion, so I'll show you everything that's available in CloudBeaver Enterprise Edition, or as we like to refer to it, simply CloudBeaver. And then in my next video, I'll show you what's available exclusively in Team Edition. So let's chat for a bit about CloudBeaver. CloudBeaver is our browser-based version of DBeaver, which runs on a server. Typically, we recommend running it in Docker on top of Linux, but you can now run it in Windows. You can run it as its own virtual machine, or you can run it in Kubernetes as well. I'm currently running it in Docker on my Mac. Now, I think of CloudBeaver as a lighter weight version of DBeaver that's great for teams that want to collaborate in a single workspace or want to have everything centralized on a single server. Another great use case is where your organization perhaps doesn't authorize its users to download desktop applications. This is a great tool that allows you to stay in compliance with that. So let's go ahead and take a look here. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to log in, and I just want you to see how easy the single sign-on is to use. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm in the user interface here, a couple options. So you could do username and password. You could do AWS IAM with your access keys. We have LDAP enabled, NTLM enabled. I'm going to go ahead and switch to Federated. I'm going to drop down to Google. It's going to open up a single sign-on window, click on my profile, click allow, and just like that, I am logged in. So I'm actually going to switch over to another tab. I'm going to switch to a different tenant of mine that has some more databases in it, and hopefully that'll allow you to kind of show off allow me to show off the capabilities a little bit better. So the first thing I'll point out is the Projects tab. Just like with the other versions of DBeaver, you do have project folders. But with CloudBeaver, you get just a private folder and you get a shared folder. And then same thing on the right-hand side here for your scripts. If you want to enable your scripts, you have a private folder here and then a shared folder. And then obviously the private folder, only you can see. The shared folder, everybody else that's in your tenant can see. Now, jumping down into one of the connections, I'll go to MySQL just so you can get an idea of these connections. So I can go ahead and I can add connections. I can edit existing connections. So I'll just show you what an existing connection looks like. And then, yeah, so I can enter in or change the host name, port name, database name. I can change the name of the connection if I'd like to. And then I can also, importantly, choose what type of authentication I'd like to use for this database. Additionally, I do have this driver properties tab. A lot of our databases have this driver properties tab. So I'd encourage you to do a quick Google or ChatGPT search just to see all the different types of settings you can enable in this driver properties tab. As well, I can turn on an SSH tunnel if I wanted to do that. I can turn on SSL, and then I can also assign individual access to this database as well. Now, once I actually am connected to this database, which I am, I'll go ahead and open up a table for you. And it looks, as I've said on my other videos, it looks and behaves basically like an Excel file. So I can go ahead and I can change this data around if I want to. I could add rows, I could remove rows, I could filter this data if I want to. I could view this data as a chart as well. So I've got these charts here. I could change it into a bar chart. I could also change it into a line chart if I wanted to, or a pie chart rather, or a line chart if I wanted to. And then I do also get the ability to view these databases as an ER diagram, or rather view these tables as an ER diagram. So I can see the relationships between all the tables very easily, and then I can export this if I want to as well. Now, additionally, you do get this properties tab. So I could go ahead and I could do something like I could view all the tables that are part of this database. I could delete some of these tables if I wanted to. Same thing for the views, indexes, stored procedures, triggers events, the DDL. Hopefully you get the idea there. Now, where you're also going to be spending a good amount of time is in the SQL Editor. So I'll go ahead and open that up. And we do have autocomplete, so I could do something like select all from, and then once I start typing out the name of a table, it'll automatically suggest that table for me. So I could, for example, open up this actor table, go ahead and click that. I could export this to, for example, a CSV file if I wanted to, all these other file types you can use as well. I could save this script, and then I can either save it to my own private folder, or I can save it to the shared folder so everybody else can use it. And then we do give you a couple other options to help you build out queries. So for example, I could do something like use our AI integration. So I could do something like show me all of the actors with the first name John. Translate that. Builds me that query, gives me a note on what kind of query I wrote or I typed out. Execute that. And then I've got my first name John actors in here. So pretty simple to do that if you're not necessarily a SQL expert, or maybe you just want to save a little time writing out SQL syntax. Another tool, and I'm actually going to close this so we have a little bit more room to work with. Another tool that we have that's handy is the visual query builder. So I'm going to open up this SQL editor again. And then I'm going to go ahead and click on this query builder. And then I'm going to go ahead and pick something like, let's do a country name. And then let's do a city. And then let's do an address associated with that city. So let's go ahead, and I want to see the name of the country. I want to see the name of the city, and then the address associated with that city. So you can see it's building the query for me here on the right. Execute that. And then just like that, I've got a nice, neat join table. It could have taken me, I don't know, maybe a minute to write that out, and I was able to build it out in just like, I don't know, 5 or 10 seconds. So you can see hopefully how it'll save you a little bit of time there as well. Another feature that you do get included in CloudBeaver, which you would have seen in my Ultimate Edition video, is the Cloud Explorer. So you might recall the Cloud Explorer is basically a direct native integration with each of the cloud providers. I'm logged into AWS right now, so I'll show you what that looks like. So I open up AWS, this AWS configuration that I set up, and then I can go ahead and I could open up, for example, click on Redshift, click on, let's do Athena, and then what else do we have? We have DynamoDB. I could show my key spaces. And so you're going to see all of the data services that you have access to, and it's really easy to add these into your folder. So I'm going to go ahead and add that into my shared folder, this Redshift database. And you can see that got added perfectly fine. I also added this Athena database. Looks like there's just a little error there. I added this Athena database as well using that. So I can view all of these different tables that are in that Athena database as well. Then additionally, I have the Cloud Explorer, or rather the Storage Explorer. So let's go ahead and open that up. And this is basically a direct integration with your S3 buckets. So I could open up these S3 buckets, and then I could very easily just import these files into my local file system. And then I can also upload to these S3 buckets as well directly. So it saves you time not having to log into your AWS storage account. Then let's go ahead and show you what are all the different features that you can enable as an administrator in the administration tab here. So I opened up that administration tab. Here's where I turn on all of the different services that we have. So the direct cloud integrations, here's where I turn those on. Here's where I would enable the different authentication settings. Here's where I could disable some drivers if I wanted to. Global preferences. This page is especially useful if you'd like to disable certain settings globally. So for example, I could disable edit for non-admin users, export, copy, disable table presentation for all users, and I can also disable import for importing data for non-admin users as well. This is where I would create users or import users from our various identity providers. So pretty handy to be able to do that. And here's where I could create some teams as well. Our query manager is where you will see all the different queries that got ran against your server. So I can go back historically and I can look up, for example, this actor query that I just ran. So I can go ahead and see that. If I want to, I can filter by the user, so I can see what a certain user's queries got run. I can filter by the driver, so I can see, for example, Postgres and Snowflake, what queries got run. I can search by the catalog, and then I can search by row count, sort by the date, or I can sort by all these other options as well. Driver management, so here's where you'd establish what drivers you want the team to use. We have a bunch of drivers that come out of the box ready to go, but you can add your own custom drivers, or you can choose to disable our own drivers if you want to source your own drivers. Next is going to be this AWS settings tab. This is basically just turning on different AWS regions. Here's where you'd add your identity providers. So here's where you actually set up the types of authentication you'd like to use. We do have this AI settings tab. So here's where I actually turn on what type of AI engine I want to use. So for us, we're using OpenAI. Shout out to ChatGPT. And then we've also got this domain manager here. Here's where you'd set up your domain web server. And then we got some product information here as well. Now, that's everything I wanted to show you. Again, this is CloudBeaver, our browser-based DBeaver. It's great for teams that are looking for a lightweight database management tool, or perhaps for organizations that are prohibited from installing desktop apps. If you're more curious about how we enable collaboration, such as with Git, script sharing, and role-based access controls, check out my next video on DBeaver Team Edition. Again, my name is Zach Antunes. If you'd like to get in touch with us, please reach out to either sales@dbeaver.com, support@dbeaver.com, or you can connect with me directly on LinkedIn. Thanks for tuning in.